Hi guys, welcome back to Wolfie TV, and it's the penultimate Premier League predictions of the season. I'm actually really going to miss doing these over the summer, but as you know, we're going to be back doing them next season, so do not worry. These are here to stay on the channel. And what a massive week we've got. So many questions still unanswered. The league title arguably still up for grabs. The top four still up for grabs. The European spots, and of course, relegation as well. It really has been one of the better seasons, hasn't it? Hopefully, all of those that I've just spoke about go down to the last day of the season. But of course, that will be dependent on what happens in this week's fixtures. So let's get cracking on with them and start predicting them. And we start off with a really big game, actually. Leeds taking on Newcastle United. And where do I start, actually? We'll start with Newcastle United because obviously it was a defeat to Arsenal. Arsenal looked absolutely superb, didn't they, though? I really thought Newcastle were going to get something from that game, but Arsenal just played really well, and it was maybe just an odd dip in form for Newcastle, a one-off, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to rectify that against a Leeds team who did put up a really respectable fight against, obviously, Man City last weekend, but they're running out of time, and surely they will need to get something at Ellen Road against Newcastle if they are going to have any hope of staying in the Premier League. Now, of course, that is not going to be an easy task because Newcastle still having to fight for that top four spot with how Liverpool's recent form has been going. A lot of people have obviously been arguing that it would probably be United, as in Manchester United, that would fall out of the top four race rather than Newcastle. And I would agree with them, but I think Newcastle still need to get some points. They can't let themselves fall away at the end of the season because it would be a massive disappointment now not to get that Champions League football. I think this is going to be a really difficult game though for Newcastle United. I think Leeds are in their last chance saloon, and although Leeds won't get the win, I do think they'll get a draw purely just with the crowd behind them, and I think Allardyce will be smart. We know what he's about. He'll set up for the draw, and I think he will get a result. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this one. I think Leeds will really frustrate Newcastle. Let's move on speaking about Saints who take on Fulham. And of course, it's not fully confirmed yet, but it does look like Saints will be playing their football in the Championship next season. They needed to at least get a draw against Forest. I'd probably argue that they would have needed to win that game. They didn't. I'm just hoping they don't go out with a whimper now. They still put up some fight, but they're coming up against a very good Fulham team. And I think, to be honest, I'm not going to spend too long on this game, guys. I am going to be honest. I think Fulham win this 2-0 Fulham. Let's go on and speak about Chelsea, who take on Nottingham Forest, and two teams that might be feeling a little bit better about themselves. Chelsea finally getting a win. They will be playing in the Premier League next season. That has been confirmed now. They can rest easy. But Lampard, he'll be wanting to maybe save his career, really, in some aspects and finish this remainder of the season strong. If, Chelsea follow this up last week's win with a few more wins, finishing the season strong, it might just help him down the line. And I think, he's coming at a really horrible time, and the players should be playing for him, really, and at least trying to play for a bit of pride as well, and a good run going into next season. Massive, massive win for Nottingham Forest, though, at the weekend. And they will be feeling a little bit rejuvenated now. They probably just need, arguably, maybe one win, maybe a win and a draw. But I do feel that maybe one more win will be enough for them. It's going to be a big ask, though, to get at Stamford Bridge. I think, we've started to see Chelsea as a bit of a meme club. But Forest haven't really been doing too well away from home this season. We know it's the City ground where they're probably going to get that last win of the season. And I am going to back Chelsea in this one, actually. I think they'll just have a bit more confidence about them. I think Forest put up a really good fight, though. I am going to go 3-1 to Chelsea, though. Let's talk about, this is a huge game, actually. Another game that I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Aston Villa, a small drop in form for them. Of course, they... two back-to-back defeats, and probably won't be too happy about losing to my club Wolves at the weekend. Of course, it was a kind of Midlands derby. Some fans don't regard it as highly as others. I'm one of those, really. I think from my perspective, I think for both clubs, West Brom and Birmingham City are bigger games, but we're disappointed about that. And going back to Villa Park, they will be wanting to get a result and needing a result against Spurs. Now, Spurs aren't really playing that fantastic in all honesty, but what they are doing and what they do have is an absolute goal machine in Harry Kane. I mean, the season that Harry Kane is having, if it weren't for Erling Haaland, we would be talking non-stop about him. He's playing in quite a poor Spurs team, and the amount of goals he has scored this season, fair play to him. And I just don't see him stopping at Spurs beyond this season, in all honesty. But he can go out with one last big impact, ensuring that Spurs get some kind of European football come next season. I think this is going to be a really good contested game, and I think there's going to be goals in this one. I think both teams will come out firing. I'm going to predict a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one. I think there will be some goals. Let's move on, speak about United, who take on Wolves, guys. Full match preview out tomorrow, as always, for the Wolves fixture, 6 p.m. tomorrow to catch Manchester United Wolves full match preview. Guys, just a quick one for me before we get back to the video. We want to try and get this video to 1,000 views this time round. So if you could do me a massive favour, help us get there, hit that like button, and also please do subscribe if you are enjoying the video and haven't done so already. And let's get back to these Premier League predictions. Let's move on. Palace taking on Bournemouth, and this is going to be one of those games now where both teams could have been going into this a few games ago really needing a result. You know, you look back to maybe probably 6-7 fixtures ago now, you probably would have thought this could have been a game to potentially decide relegation. Of course, both teams have now pulled away from that. They'll be feeling relaxed, feeling good about themselves, maybe just wanting to end the season well. But overall, I think if either team lose, they probably won't be massively bothered by it, in all honesty. I think this is going to be a very interesting game in terms of I think both teams will just go out and attack, have a bit of fun with it. I'm going to go for a bit of a mad scoreline here because, Joe, what? Why not? Palace win this 3-2. Everton taking on Manchester City, and a massive result for Everton, finally scoring goals. Can they finish this season with a big result against Manchester City? That is the question. Obviously, as we know, City 1-1 result against Real Madrid. They'll be needing to focus on that Champions League back at the Etihad next Tuesday or Wednesday, is it? It makes me wonder, are they going to drop some players, some of their first team players here? Where is their focus at? Is it the Champions League or is it the Premier League? I don't think that they can go in, though, with a bit of a reserve team and hoping to get a result against Everton, especially at Goodison Park, because Everton are looking rejuvenated, looking refreshed, looking like they've got that bit of a fight to them. And the main reason for that is they've got their talisman back, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Obviously, you know, things just seem to got much better for Everton since he has come back. And I think the top is mixture of maybe feeling hopeful and maybe not feeling hopeful. The fan base is quite split at the moment, probably because of the games that they have got left this season. This is a free hit, isn't it, for Everton? Can they get something? I don't know. Something's telling me that Everton are going to get a result here, which might be absolutely stupid to say, but I'm going to go for it. You know what? 1-1 draw in this game. I just have a sneaky feeling. I know you guys dropping your predictions in the comments probably will think, Scott, what the hell are you on about? But well, I've just got a feeling, and that's all I could say. Brentford taking on West Ham. Two teams now, which, I mean, arguably I'd say West Ham are now safe. Brentford, probably not too much to play for in regards to, you know, I think their European aspirations are probably gone now. You just wonder, is this going to be a game where, you know, this kind of type of games at the end of the season, do teams start to experiment with things for next season? They maybe give some fringe players that haven't had some game time again? I don't think that'll be the case for West Ham. I think they'll be wanting to get over the line. Obviously, fully confirm Premier League safety first. I think as well, it's obviously two London clubs. I don't know with this one. It honestly could go either way. I know West Ham have been playing a lot better lately, though, so I'm going to marginally give it to West Ham. I'm just going to go 1-0 to West Ham in this game. Arsenal taking on Brighton, and obviously, if Arsenal are going to win this Premier League, they need it to go to the last game of the season. They need it to be a full house. So 3 wins, that's all that will be good enough. And this is not going to be an easy task against Brighton. Brighton will be rejuvenated in the sense that after that heavy defeat, unexpected defeat actually against Everton, you question how will they respond. Well, I think they respond well. I really do. I think they'll be giving Arsenal a really good game. Arsenal at the Emirates, you wonder, is that going to work in favour of them or against them? As we know, Arsenal are usually very good at home, but the pressure is going to be on at the Emirates because nothing but a win is going to be acceptable. And we have seen them blow some chances at the Emirates quite early into games. So Brighton will be looking for that early goal, apply pressure on the Arsenal team. One thing you can't do, though, Brighton, is do what's similar to what they did against Everton and is concede early, because then Arsenal might get that grit between their teeth. As we saw against Newcastle, they played the dirty game, they wasted time, but they found a way to get over the line. I think with this one, I want the title race to go to the last game of the season. So maybe it is just what I want to happen. I've nothing against Brighton. I just want a good end to the title race to happen. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal in this one, but maybe that's a little bit just what I want to happen rather than what is going to happen. But guys, Leicester, who take on Liverpool now. Leicester, my God. I always thought Leicester were one of those teams that were just too good to go down. So people used to say this about Wolves at my club, that you'll be all right. You've got too much. You'll get out of there. I felt the same about Leicester, Maddison, Barnes, Iheanacho, Daka, Maddison, I might have already mentioned, Tielemans. I thought there was too much in that team to go down. They need some fight now, though. They really need some fight, and they need to show some quality. And they're coming up against the Liverpool team that are playing in such great form. Good way to end the season for them, regardless of if they get top 4 or not. But they'll have their eyes on top 4. And to do that, they'll also probably need a perfect end to the season. Leicester, I'm really sorry if there's any Leicester fans watching. 2-0 to Liverpool. Guys, that is my last but one Premier League predictions. As always, put your predictions down in the comments. Help us out. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And we've got one more to go. Last Premier League predictions next week. Make sure to tune into them. Have a good week, guys. Take care. Goodbye.